Hello, everybody. This is Adam once again with our healing camp, second day for the root chakra. If you did not see the first day's video, which was basically the healing stones, essential oils, and materials that you would need to make this experience of opening up this chakra just a little bit easier, I will put it in the cards so you can watch that video and let me know what you think. Throughout the entire course of this, I will be posting questions, or at least opening up the board for questions about the root chakra, and then we will make a video on Saturday and Sunday regarding those questions. If we do not get questions, then those videos will not get done. So please don't be hesitant. Nobody is in judgment here, and let's continue. But before we do that, there was something that I neglected to put in the first video, which is incredibly important, and so I'm just going to quickly go through this because we briefly touched on it before, and that is the diet of a root chakra. So root chakra's foods are very much red in texture, very earthy, stuff like that. So if you want to eat certain foods that will bring you closer to unlocking those, here are the foods that would be most beneficial for you. Vegetables. So stuff like beets, rutabagas, garlic, ginger, turnips, potatoes, onions, parsnips, anything like that would be a great food to eat, to consume, to get this root chakra there. The origins of these particular foods, not only because of their red color, which is a great solution to unlocking and healing that particular chakra with yourself, but also they come from the ground. You know, potatoes go from the ground, beets, all of them are grown in the ground, so there is a very deep connection with Mother Earth. Proteins. So if you eat red meat in any way, shape, or form, red meat is a great food to eat for that. But make sure that, the animal was killed properly, make sure it wasn't in a farmed area, and make sure it's all natural. But for vegetarians and vegans, there are other options for you as well, such as red beans, and, any kind of nut, eggs, tofu, peanut butter. Those kinds of proteins are going to be great for you as to getting back to your red chakra, or your root chakra, which is also called the red chakra. Grains, very grainy food, so oats and buckwheat and that kind of stuff will provide your body with healthy, good, complex carbohydrates, so you can do the hiking and camping and all of that stuff, which we'll get to here soon. Red fruits such as red apples, watermelons, pomegranates, berries such as raspberries and strawberries and of the such. It's a great food to recharge your root chakra. And then spices. So chives, paprika, peppers, anything that has that red color is a great way to do that, and also cleanses the body of any harmful contaminants. If you're a tea drinker, you can do Rooibos. I butchered that immensely, but it is what it is. Or you can do hibiscus tea. You can do it either hot or cold, it doesn't matter, and that's something that once again does a cleansing of your root chakra. So with that being said, let's go into the meat and potatoes of this particular video, no pun intended. The irony of that was not bestowed upon myself, but let us do certain meditations that you can do to get this in there, and also questions that you can ask yourself that might lead to a better understanding of if this is the chakra that you are having issues with. So let's do the questions first, because I feel like that's a great place to start. So some people believe that their root chakra might be in imbalance because of certain criterion that their root chakra's origins are in. But sometimes that's not entirely the case. There's a lot of material problems as well that you might not have even recognized that we'll go through now. Here are 15 signs, 15 questions to ask yourself to see if you have an unhealthy, imbalanced, or closed root chakra. And then we'll get to some meditations that might be able to open it up. And then the next video will be more of a breakdown of particular solutions to do that. And obviously we'll end our video with the affirmations that you should tell yourself as you're meditating, and what would be good and structurally for you to do as a part of the crystals and the essential oils and all of that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. You tend to be obsessed with money. You worry that you don't have enough actual money. You know, it's catastrophe that you're surrounded by the poor. You're scared about becoming homeless. You overwork to soothe your anxiety surrounding finances. You become triggered whenever someone in your family spends too much. You must be in absolute control of the money in your family, that kind of stuff. You have a general mistrust of others. So if you have trust issues, it's a great solution. You believe that the only person you can rely on is yourself. This is another one that goes into the trust problem. You're a workaholic. You tend to burn out easily, so if you are doing a lot of unnecessary busy work to keep yourself distracted, this is kind of why. You have a dysfunctional relationship with your family. There really doesn't have to be any more explanation or breakdown of this, of any kind. You feel like there's never enough to go around, so if you need to fight of what you want, if you think there's not enough food or energy, this is kind of why. You're terrified of a loss of control. Once again, doesn't have to be broken down any more than what that is. You are hyper-vigilant to any perceived signs of a threat. So it's that survival instinct. Sometimes it might be over-exaggerated. It might be exacerbated, you'll see this. If you feel physically dizzy, anxious, spacey, and ungrounded for most of the day. Sometimes you'll feel better at some parts than others. You find it difficult and scary to be your authentic self around others. You feel disconnected from other people and nature. You are a hoarder who likes to collect a lot of things, making your living space, very cluttered. Collecting is fine. I have a collection of stones that are very beneficial, but it's not like I have boxes upon boxes upon boxes of stones. It's obviously not necessary. You find what you need, and you kind of have a nice little collection that makes you feel full, in a way. Obviously not to a hoarder mentality. You binge eat or stop eating completely when you get depressed or anxious. So an eating disorder, which is a huge red flag that your root chakra might be imbalanced. You have leg and feet problems such as swelling, inflammation, cramps, infections, and poor circulation. It's a great telltale sign, there we go, words and phrases are wonderful, of a problem with your root chakra. You tend to gain weight around the bottom half of your body, such as your love handles and your thighs and your legs. There is a blockage of that kind of chakra power, and there is studies that there is a case of that based on other qualifications that we just listed off. Like I said, this one is very tended to be your groundwork. You need a great foundation to discover your inner happiness, and if you feel any of these, which I will link down below as well in the question form, and I'll do in the first person so you can read it and conceptualize those questions inside of your head, and if you have any of them, there might be a problem, and we'll do solutions. We'll at least do one thing, and it's one thing that I believe is very powerful. Here are at least some things that you can do. With our last one, I instructed you to go hiking. Hiking is a reconnection to the earth. We breathe, we take mindful steps, you're back to your true home, which is Mother Earth. For this one, I want you to, bearing given circumstances. I live here in Las Vegas. I would not do this to the ground for obvious reasons. It's 116 degrees right now, so it's probably not the greatest idea to do so. But what I want you to do, I want you to walk outside, obviously in a safe way. Obviously, I don't know where your circumstances. I want you to take off your shoes and your socks, and I want you to walk into the mud, into the grass, into the sand if you live near a beach. And I want you to just stand there and take it all in. You need to feel the pure ground of Mother Earth. It's something that's very important that people need to do. It's a reconnection, once again. And if you want to do another hike with friends and family, again, you are more than welcome to do so. And, another emphasis on being safe. Don't pick up a scorpion or go out there when it's too hot nor too cold. But just play in the mud, play in the sand, play in the grass. Go to a park and just detox yourself, or go hiking, once again. We did that exercise yesterday, and if you did hike, I want you to know your experience. And also do some meditation this time and really feel that connection to Earth. So get a healing stone that we have discussed before. I have the links in the previous video. Either red jasper or obsidian would be a great one, especially for the exercises that we are about to do, and just enjoy what we can provide for you here. So I will be posting those on the screen as well. I've obviously closed it because I'm sometimes totally ill-prepared, but I'm okay. So, mantras to tell yourself while you are doing this is incredibly important. So here are some that would be a great way to do that. I trust myself. I release fear and anxiety. I have a balance between Mother Earth and myself. I am letting go of negative feelings and emotions. And I cultivate a sense of being grounded. In those affirmations that I just did, I want you to keep those in your head. Trust yourself. Release fear. Create personal balance. Letting go of nitpicky things. And cultivating a sense of feeling grounded. Say that in your head as you do these. The first one is Sukhasana. I'm going to butcher these, so, be aware of this. This is a generally great meditation pose that anybody can do, and I highly recommend doing this pretty much all the time. I do it all the time, and I think it's beneficial for everybody. The Balsana, which is a little more complex. You just need to relax your whole body and notice how you just ground it. You are breathing. You can feel it. You surrender the balance and the support that you feel like is keeping you imbalanced. This next one is incredibly difficult to do. That is the Malsanana. Obviously, if you are not comfortable with doing this, do not hurt yourself. Do the ones that you can. All of them are incredibly beneficial. This one is the one that is most associated with this chakra, and it brings you back to earth, especially in your legs, feet, and the chakra itself is getting close to the ground, but not so much. The Uttanasana. I don't think I butchered that one too bad. It's a good pose for a busy mind. It gets your entire focus upside down, and I think it's a sense of calmness for most people. I cannot do this because I am very inflexible. The mountain pose. So stand there straight. confidently keep your arms down and just enjoy it, breathe, because now you're a tree. You're rising from the ground. It's kind of the focus of this. The sun salutation, which is a not too much of a complex pose, but people with back issues, I don't obviously recommend doing this one. This one is a great one to do outside, and it's a lovely pose to do. I do it quite often. I'm not going to even try to pronounce this one, but this pose, it's I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a fight and flight mechanism kind of thing, and it brings you back to the more animalistic side of it, of, the root. It's a great energy, it's a calming energy, and it's inner strength. Warrior number 2, which is the fierce warrior pose. It helps you with doubts and fears. You have to be confident to do this one. Even though it seems very simple, there's a lot of core focus on this one, and obviously do it to your discretion. The bridge pose is a very great release of the root chakra. Sometimes your root chakra is overstimulated, so sometimes it just needs a little bit of obvious air to breathe. And finally, the wide-legged forward fold, which is a very complex one. Once again, I do not recommend that you do that pose unless you feel comfortable doing it. Alright, so those are the meditation poses that that you should do. The questions will be linked in the description if you want to keep reminding yourself of those questions, and if this is the chakra that you have a personal problem with. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications if you feel that you need more assistance and to know when the next day comes out. Also, the first link down below is a great program that I highly recommend. These people have been doing chakra theories and the release of it for over 20 years, and I cannot recommend them enough. Please use the link. You sign up, you get a great discount on it, and it's all well and good. And as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.